We're green?
We're green. We are green.
Sweet.
Yeah, I had to push the button.
Well, we wouldn't be so green if we did this more than once every month.
No. It's been a rough month.
Yeah.
All right. Hello, traders. Welcome back.
Hi, traders. Welcome back.
Everything's late. Nobody dies.
That's true.
We may have come close a couple times over the last month, but we made it through.
Well, the first part was definitely true over the last couple of weeks.
It's been ugly.
It's been horrible.
And I haven't been here I've been MIA, so I haven't been able to.
You have been very Mia. That's true. Yes.
That's going to be my new stage name, Mia.
Mia? I like it.
Condola.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the name I used as a B-girl, put myself through college.
Oh, beautiful.
In Vegas. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. You can do that there. Yeah. It's okay.
And we are at episode 27.
Are we really?
27.
Wow.
The Christmas episode, this will...
Oh, yeah, it's Christmas.
So Christmas will be coming up this weekend.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That seems that's too fast.
Yeah, it's like it took forever for us to get to this point, and then all of a sudden it just... December hit, and we're off and running.
Man, it's been a weird year. There have been months that seem like years, and like months that seem like hours.
Yeah.
It has been a strange year.
That's been really odd.
2020 also has not been kind.
People just getting used to getting back in the swing of things. Everything opening up. And yeah.
And then nobody can get any swings to sell because of the
supply chain.
Supply chain is still broken. But yeah. I think, I really do think that's I think that's kind of where we are now.
Supply chain's broken.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to figure out how to repair it. So Yeah. I think our creators are putting out the product for us. It's just not trickling down.
Yeah. And don't you bait me with phrases like that. Don't you do it. No, I think I do kind of think that this is where we are with not only with comics, just with everything.
Yeah.
Things are pretty broken, and I don't know how, if, when, where, whatever they're going to get fixed. I doubt it.
Well, it took me probably about 3 good solid months of searching to find International Delight Irish Cream Creamer for my coffee in the grocery store.
That is very specific. That's a very specific supply chain problem.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the only creamer that I put in my coffee.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm typically a black coffee.
Just Irish cream. Just put Irish cream in your coffee.
It just does not taste the same.
And then have Kat drive you here. Then you'll buy all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been weird. And that's not like a doomsayer pessimistic thing. Now that I'm saying, I'm just saying, I really think we need to get used to the fact that things are not going back to normal. It's not. I don't think it's going to go back to normal.
To like pre-lockdown normal.
Pre-lockdown normal, yeah. And I think this is just how it is. And and I still get people that come in and they're like, "Hey, when is something coming out?" And I'm like, I don't even know if it's coming out. I don't know.
It's funny because you look at a lot of these creators and people have been. I've heard a lot lately that the creators, Clayton Crane is one, and Donnie Cates, that these people are not putting out products. They're not putting out. It isn't the level, the quality of their work. It's the quantity. They're not putting out what they were.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of who it was. Might have been Capullo. Somebody was on. I saw it on Twitter, and I think it was Capullo who was saying that he's got tons of work to put out, but he's waiting for DC to catch up to where he's at. And
that's a weird place to be.
Yeah. And especially with DC, right? With the changeover and everything. Like, they've messed up the movies, they've messed up the TV show.
And everything is so not right there.
Yeah.
And I would really love to see, I was thinking about this the other day because I was thinking about like the old 80s Keith Giffen J.M. DeMatteis or DeMatteis or whatever you want to call it, about that Justice League International stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I was talking about that with Johnny because we were looking at the Human Target and had ice in it, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool. God, that was like my favorite, and that was my favorite because it was fun, it was good writing, it was good art, and it was just like, wow, this is okay, and I like this, and I think that's when I was reading most of my DC stuff was right around then. I was fairly, I wouldn't say equal, but pretty close with Marvel and DC stuff. And then when they like switched that around and they were like, oh no, and the Justice League has to be really serious now. We gotta, I'm like, oh man. And then they started bringing different people in and different writers, and and I just didn't like it as much anymore. Once it hit the JLA stuff, I didn't really like it much.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I would love. I mean, as much as I bag on DC now because I think they deserve a lot of it, But man, I would really love to see them go back to that point again.
I think that's one thing that's really missing, especially in the big two right now. Right, is the comic books just aren't as fun.
Mm-hmm.
They like. I'm finding a lot of the stuff that I'm reading. I really enjoy Twig. I've enjoyed the Ha Ha stuff and the Ice Cream Man.
And you just keep going with the 8 Billion Genies. Plush, which I guess you've read by now, right?
I have not.
So fun.
I have not.
It is awesome.
But then you look at what the big two are doing, especially it's just also very serious.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And man, if I wanted to be weighed down, I'd watch the news every night.
That's true. You're right. No, that's true. That's very true.
Even the indie stuff that gets real heavy. Berserker started out great. It really did. It was fresh. It was, it was just fun. And the last few issues, it's just really gotten to the point where it weighs you down.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to tell serious, great American literature stories.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's doing it.
And that is another thing though. You're right that they're not out for fun. They're out for, it's almost like they're trying to prove themselves again, like they were, in the 80s where they did prove themselves.
Right.
And they're like, no, this is serious stuff. Batman is a detective story. Sandman is serious. Watchmen is serious. This is, and they did that then, but it worked because not everything had to be that.
Right.
Now it's like everything has to be Dark Knight or Watchmen or V for Vendetta or Sandman or, it has to be that or else people, it's almost a marketing thing, because I see a lot of this. Oh, it's they're like movie pitches. It's a cross between Sandman and Punisher or I don't know, whatever.
Right.
But they almost come across as movie pitches now, which coincidentally most of them are, but I wish they would just, and I think some of this obviously has to do with, these enormous corporations, again, as we've talked about with, I guess Discovery Warner instead of Warner AT&T or Time Warner, Warner Brothers Warner, or what, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's so confusing. That and Disney, I don't know how they're looking at these things right now. I can never tell if they're looking at them to like push movies, if they're looking to just get as much money as they can immediately. I don't know what their strategy is, and it's hard to figure out.
I think, to me, what it feels like with the big two is the parent company, whatever that company is, goes to the comic book people and says, Spider-Man storyboarding something.
Mm-hmm.
And because that's what we're getting. We get these storyboards of half flushed out storylines that really, none of it goes anywhere. Miles Morales' Clone Saga went absolutely nowhere.
Well, and coincidentally, as soon as that was done, it stopped selling.
Yeah.
And then the number one came out and it was gone like in 2 days
And
because it's a number one.
AXE, that didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, you lose interest.
Mm. Well, and part of it is probably there's too much of the event crossover.
Right.
Whatever. There's a lot of issues to keep track of. And, I mean, I've cut down on some of the stuff just so I can really focus on the stuff that I enjoy. I mean, I've been finding myself going back and reading a lot of like Silver Age, even Golden Age, and like early Bronze stuff. Like I'm going through my Astonishing Tales, the first ones.
Oh yeah,
those were so great. God, I just read I think number 4 last night. With Wally Wood doing the Doctor Doom story.
Oh,
and he just Doctor Doom's just standing there and he's got like this crazy look on his face. You just see his eyes and his mouth. And he's like, oh, it's like, could get this armor done in time to hit the porta potty. I don't know, whatever. But he's just got this look on his face, And even though, it's kind of a silly look, and even though some of the art's a little bit primitive by today's standards, and some of it is a little silly, it's still so much fun. I've been reading a lot of that. I like Golden Age Batman stuff.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of, 40s and 50s stuff. And, again, with a lot of those, I typically don't read all the captions. I just mostly read the dialogue, because the captions, if you're reading a Batman book from 1950 and you're reading the captions, you're going to be late to everything you got. Right. Yeah. You'll show up to your family's house on January 7th and be like, Merry Christmas. And because there's a lot of words. It's very wordy, but it's also super fun. So, I'm finding myself doing a lot of that. And then I'm also finding myself like the ones I'm excited about when I get home. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays are mostly the indie books. Because they still, like you said, have that sense of fun with them.
Right.
And that's not to say I'm not enjoying a lot of the, Marvel and DC stuff. I am. It's just a little bit less and less. All the time. I'm finding my tastes changing at this advanced age.
I don't think it's so much our taste is changing, but the books are changing.
Well, yeah, maybe our tastes they're exactly the same as they were 30 years ago.
I've always enjoyed to escape into my books and just forget about the troubles of the world for a little while.
Right.
I open up, the latest issue of Spider-Man, and they're dealing with the same political issues and racial issues and all of this stuff that's going on in the real world. You're not escaping anything.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's not to say that there's not a place for that. I'm not one of these guys that, politics has got no place in comics. I get that it's always had a place and needs a place in books, but there's a fine line, and I think they've forgotten that a bit, and it's taken a lot of the fun out of the. Yeah,
it is. I mean, I almost think that trend started with Spider-Man 36 at 9/11 book. I almost feel like it did, because obviously you've had social issues,
right?
You've had racial stuff, you've had drug use, you've had all sorts of things in Spider-Man books and Green Arrow or Green Lantern, and Green Arrow, all that kind of stuff. But I think that number 36 was such a big hit. It was such a big deal, and it was really well done. I liked it a lot.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Well, that's a book that came from a place of authenticity. It wasn't a force. It wasn't a formulated, we need to make a statement about this.
Right, yeah.
It was the creators acting out of their own frustration about the situation. And we see that now. There are some books that give us that now.
Yeah. I just think that was so successful and such a big thing as it should have been. The people looked at that, these companies looked at that and went, we've got to do this all the time now. That was big. It just started this avalanche of this is some real shit. And let's talk about that instead. Which I mean, and again, and it does have its place, and it should be there. The problem is it shouldn't be there all the time, and right. it shouldn't be a superhero story backing up that. It should be that backing up a superhero story. And I think that's where sometimes they kind of lose a little bit of it.
Yeah, and Marvel's always been really good about doing that because, and a large part of it is because Marvel has always really been based in New York City, which is so diverse, and so
right,
has all the cultural influences that they've been able to use. I mean, New York really is a character in the Marvel universe.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would agree.
And I don't think that any analog Metropolis or Gotham or any analog of New York could hit the same way.
Well, and I think it comes across as like a stereotypical, Metropolis or Gotham is just a stereotypical big city. Like somebody who's never been to a big city before. It's like, oh, they got a crime alley.
Right.
Crime alleys all over the place there. Yeah, there was a very large newspaper building. That's what a city's like, I was like, okay, well, I've never been to one, of course, I mean, I didn't get to New York City till I was about 24 or 25 years old. And I didn't go to New York till later than that.
Yeah.
Probably 15 years ago.
But I grew up...
what, 63, 64?
But I grew up on Spider-Man and Daredevil and all these characters. So, you go there and you're like, oh, this feels familiar.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is when, what a Daredevil fan I am, the first time I went to New York, we stayed in Hell's Kitchen. And I was like, oh, no. Oh, it's Hell's Kitchen. Oh, my gosh, there's so much. And I was like, it is just like any other city I've ever been to. This is fine. And, going to Chicago because, for the first time where all you hear about is like, that's where all the gangsters were and stuff, And it's like, Jesus, man, it's just a city. You know what I mean? It's just a city. But I think a lot of that stuff, though, is you learn from that and that informs your viewpoint on things. And you're like, oh, okay, well, all right, Queens is just this nice little place where old ladies with very tight buns on the back of their head live,
Right.
And occasionally you see a teenager sneaking out of the room and swinging into a tree or something. I guess there's really nowhere to shoot your webs there. But
I thought every house in Queens had a yard that was 12 feet wide and 30 feet deep with a shed all the way in the back.
And a really pretty redhead living next to you.
That's what I thought Queens was.
Yeah, right. Time. It was just the ideal, perfect neighborhood, and everybody's got, But it's kind of funny that's where we learn these things from,
right?
And I think that's a good point. Is there's going to be more diversity with that real world city,
Yeah,
and
I think that's why a lot of those socio-political type issues work in a Marvel universe where they don't in DC.
I think they work a little better. Yeah,
I don't think that the race thing specifically. I don't buy any of that in a Batman book. Just because it's never really. I don't feel it's grounded, but when the Falcon is in New York and somebody is screaming words at him that they shouldn't be. I mean, that feels real.
That feels very real. Yeah. And, Miles doing his thing. And, even though I'm not reading Miles Morales, I think he's a really good character, a really important character. But I think we should always have Miles Morales and Peter Parker. I don't think Miles should ever take over.
I think, and we discussed this before, I think Miles is a better Spider-Man for our era.
Oh, absolutely.
I really do.
But I think we need both. in the comics.
I think Peter's still got his place.
Mhm.
And he definitely, like, Miles wouldn't have worked in 1980.
No,
I don't feel.
no.
But and you really they start walking a fine line. You don't want to completely race swap your characters. I think that's ridiculous. Like, I don't know much about Calvin Ellis as Superman, but if somebody were to say that there's a Superman of any other race, I can't buy that. I just can't. But if somebody would have told me that about Spider-Man, if they would have said, here's a Spider-Man of another race, if somebody would have told, 16-year-old me that, I'd be like, that's never going to work. That's never going to work. But I think they did an excellent job in creating who Miles is.
Well, and I think the closest they ever got to that was War Machine. As they had him take over for a time as Iron Man. And we knew it was temporary, but it really worked because I think at that time that was unheard of.
Right.
You did not see that at that time.
Well, and I think any of these characters as the, it's hard to say replacement because I don't look at them as replacements. But Sam Wilson as Captain America, I think Marvel really missed the boat. I think Steve Rogers should have stayed dead. That was the promise. We lost Cap. Cap should stay dead. And so who do you replace Cap with? Well, Sam Wilson's the obvious choice. And I'm okay with that.
And I think Bucky should have stayed Winter Soldier, and it should have been Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I like Bucky as Nomad.
I like Winter Soldier. I just like him. I don't know why. It's not,
cruising around the back streets of America on a chopper, beating people up. I mean, Nomad was badass.
I mean, yeah, okay, fine. Man. But yeah, he was badass until we got Winter Soldier, and I like Winter Soldier a lot more. I just think he's super cool.
It is a cool character.
I mean, he's the 2000s character that is also the 90s character, but is cool. You had Cable and the weapon, blah blah, weapon. I don't even know what his age. I don't know what the hell. So many weapons, so many Canadian weapon boys. And yeah, you had all these guys, and Cyber Force and all these dudes with their metal arms and they're like long hair and they're like, yeah, I'm intense. It's like, no, you're not intense. You just look silly. You look like you had a. They looked like they got like a metal turtleneck and put it on, and they're like backup singers for the Backstreet Boys or something with their ponytails and their, you know what I mean? It's just like, you don't look intense and intimidating. I'm sorry. But something about Winter Soldier was really cool. I think it's sort of you knew who he was, but he was also hiding his identity and you couldn't see him very, very well. You know what I mean? There's just something cool about him. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I'm not like a big Captain America guy. And I don't know why you should like Winter Soldier so much, but I just maybe he's just got that beautiful hair and I'm jealous. Could be it.
L'Oreal commercial comes
yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's like Fabio without the bird.
Yeah.
Oh man. Let's move to something a little less maybe charged and emotional.
Okay. What you got?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Let's talk about politics. No, I don't know. I just I was going to say, what have you been reading? God, you haven't read anything.
I really have not had a chance. I mean, I've been reading. You were talking about Silver and Golden Age stuff. I've been reading Golden Age 4-color funnies.
Okay.
The original Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers stuff. I've got a customer that has me page count everything he sends in, and so I'm sitting there at my desk and I'm just carefully turning pages, page counting, and cleaning and whatever, and reading Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers.
Oh, nice.
Just
That's so
great
cool.
stuff.
That's really cool.
The whole concept of sci-fi back in the 40s is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm a big sci-fi guy. I love my Star Trek, but to see the predecessors and like the difference between a Flash Gordon and a Captain Kirk is hilarious to me, and especially the difference between those characters and Jean-Luc Picard, who's like so uptight, and it's awesome.
Yeah, and he did drop a couple F words on Wolverine. Though. That's just my favorite part of that movie.
I don't think I even remember much about that movie.
Oh God, it was so good. Logan?
It was okay.
No, Logan's amazing.
I kind of checked out on the X-Men franchise, like early on.
Yeah.
Just none of it really appealed to me.
Logan is one of the only ones that doesn't feel dated. You know, the problem with the X-Men movies, and it's almost every single one of them. I don't know what it is about it, but almost every single X-Men movie seems extremely dated, like a year later.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, honestly, yeah, Hugh Jackman is like amazing. He's so good as Wolverine. But those first couple movies is like, wow, you know, and all the product somehow got so much product in the wilderness. It was so wow. There's a lot going on there.
I think they all had great comic book moments.
Yeah,
but the battle with Wolverine and Sabretooth. I love that first battle when they first meet. They go at it, and
I like how they find him in the cage fight club or whatever. You know, that was a really cool idea. You know, and I think you're right. They started with some really great ideas, and then as you move through the movies, like rewatching them and everything, as you move through the movies, it just gets kind of a weaker and weaker movie as it goes. You know, except for 3, which was weak to begin with and a weak at the end.
Yeah, Days of Future Past it was so convoluted to me.
I mean, and I liked that. I really did like it. You know, I liked it because it could reset everything, and that's what they needed. You know, desperately is a reset. Age of Apocalypse was. I think Oscar Isaac was wasted there. I think they could have,
definitely.
You know, and I feel like they maybe shouldn't have just painted him blue. You know what I mean? Just have him be him with some raised markings or, the fish gill man thing or whatever the Apocalypse is kind of going on. I think I should have had him with some prosthetic stuff on and not blue, maybe a little bit like a weird blue shade or tint to him, but not. He just looked like Mystique and Nightcrawler and every other blue character that the X-Men has.
I'm kind of curious, and I've been thinking about this. I'm kind of curious how they're going to pull off Kang.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Kang's not blue, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why.
And here we are back at race.
I think
you gotta stand up for the blue man.
I think the actor's fantastic.
He's really great. Yeah. I agree though, and he's got to be blue, but he also looks damn silly in the comics. He always has looked ridiculous. I've always liked Kang, but he's always looked ridiculous.
I don't know. I think that his look is kind of what makes it work.
Maybe.
I don't know. I like Kang as a character. I'm kind of excited to see where it goes.
And we'll see what happens. Are they going to bring the Rama Tut and all the Fantastic Four stuff? And, what are they going to do there? God, who knows? Immortus.
I'm almost afraid they don't know what they're going to do. Because, the Mr. Fantastic was so well received in Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. You'd be shooting yourself in the foot if you went with anybody else as Mr. Fantastic at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't think they have, what's his name, John Straczynski or whatever. I don't think they have him signed to do any more movies.
No, I don't think they do either. And I mean, that was almost like well, they said it was like hey, everybody wants him as that, so here it is.
Yeah.
Here it is. That's it. That's what you get. And ever since then, like I've seen him in a bunch of movies. I've seen him in a bunch of TV shows. And I was watching for the first time. I watched A Quiet Place 2, which they should have called Another Quiet Place, or More Places with More Quiet, or I don't know, something clever. But
A Quiet Place 2, the quieter,
the quieter. And all I could see, because he was in the first part of it. No spoilers. Have you seen Quiet Place?
No.
It's really good. It's actually really good. I liked it. A PG horror movie I really enjoyed, which is strange for me, but or PG-13, whatever. But when I was watching him, in part 2, he had kind of a, he had your bushy beard going there, and all I'm thinking is like, wow, this is one like road worn and weary Reed Richards. It's all I can think of now because he is so there.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't know how they get anybody else to do it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. I'm worried that maybe it started to run its course, the comic stuff. Movie wise.
Yeah.
I think the future of comics on film is going to be TV series. And then,
I think so too.
like one big movie a year or something.
Yeah.
And because, we can't. Yeah, and you saw this with Black Adam. You don't get those huge numbers anymore. You're not going to have a comic book movie come out and make $2 billion ever again.
I don't think Black Adam was ever going to be that huge number movie. And I think they were fooling themselves.
They really thought it was going to.
I
don't know anybody that thought that was going to be this world record breaking. Oh my God! Look how much money, and everybody loves it. And nobody thought that, And everybody was going to see a fun rock movie where he punched people.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to watch it on HBO Max if there is an HBO Max by the time it gets on there. But everybody that's seen it pretty much is like, no, it was fun. It was rock punching stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah. And all the weird stuff going on about that, like I guess, he's pissed at James Gunn now. They're not following through with his Superman idea, and he's pissed at DC because he wants to run the DC universe, and all the stuff. And it's like, I just don't, why? Like,
I think
that's not going to be the cornerstone of the DC universe on film. It's not going to be. It never will be.
And Black Adam never was going to be that.
No. Man, that's
Justice Society is a TV property. It's never. There's no way that's ever going to be a movie property, movie franchise.
I agree,
but it's a great TV series.
I know, what's the purple version of Warlock? Magus, is that his name from the Infinity stuff?
Oh yeah,
Magus. That's like saying, okay, we're going to do a Magus movie.
Yeah.
And that right there is going to be the cornerstone of the new Marvel Universe. It's like, no, why, man? You have like an anti-hero that's going to fight somebody that's kind of the same as them, and then that's what you're basing it, and that's what you're putting all your horses on?
Right.
No. You can't. It's not going to happen.
Well, I think they completely missed the boat because Black Adam's not that character. Because nobody knows who Black Adam is.
Right.
Nobody cares who Black Adam is. Comic book people don't care who Black Adam is. The character, if you want The Rock to anchor a DC superhero, why didn't we get Steel? That's the one.
Yeah.
Like, he's the anti-hero to Clark Kent Superman.
Yeah, I don't know if that would have done any better. I don't think it would have, because I think Shaq ruined it. People would look at that and just laugh now because of the Shaq movie.
I don't know. I'd go watch the hell out of The Rock as Steel.
The Rock is the Steel.
Steel is one of my favorite alternate Superman.
Rock beats steel coming this summer. I don't know. There's a lot of things you could do with that, huh?
Yeah.
Rock the steel. And then they could do a crossover with Steel Town Rockers. You remember that book? Oh my god, yeah, okay, that was not good at all.
Why don't we just make Kickers Incorporated a thing?
Oh my god. And then
the new universe stuff.
Oh my god. Kickers Incorporated.
Spitfire and the
Oh my god,
Troubleshooters.
okay, we got it. Kickers Incorporated. Alright. We introduce one of the football people each time.
Right now there's 3 people that know what the hell we're
That's
talking
true.
about.
We're 2 of them. So yeah, Kickers Incorporated, okay. You start building a Kickers Incorporated universe for Phase 5.
There you go.
Okay. You get them up there, they get their own spaceship and call it like the Milano cookie or something if you want. It doesn't matter. You get them on there, you do their thing. What is the big Avengers Endgame type movie that is just going to cap Phase 5 off? No. No. Kickers Incorporated versus NFL Super Pro. You're welcome, Disney.
We're busting out the multiverse.
You're welcome, Disney. You know where to get in touch with me. If you don't, you should. Actually, they all know. They know where to get into. They know exactly what everybody's doing at all times.
Yeah. All right. So we're not going to discuss Batman Spawn because you got a few of those to sell still.
No, I will. No, you know what? I will say, if you are a big Spawn fan and you are a big Batman New 52 Scott Snyder Batman fan, you will love this book. I don't read Spawn. I read like the first 7 or 8 issues, and we talked about this before. And I'm like, that would have been a pretty cool miniseries, And then I heard there's ebbs and flows and ups and downs and whatever, I don't dislike Spawn. It's not something I collect,
Right.
And the New 52 Batman is just not my thing. It's too interconnected with everything, and they keep changing you know what I mean? It's not the Batman that I enjoyed.
Right.
And now, if you do like those 2 things, though, this is the book for you.
I've actually heard people that really like it. It doesn't seem like it's going to be something for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm more of a detective Batman kind of person.
Yeah.
And there's nothing detective-y about this, so
not really. No. I mean, there sort of is. There's like a Court of Owls thing in it, and but I'm not a big fan of Court of Owls. I don't.
I haven't read any of that stuff.
I mean, I don't think you can just. My problem with the New 52 stuff is, I don't think you can just be like, oh yeah, this, you can't Sentry it. Sentry in the Marvel universe, okay, it was a guy that was there and he did some stuff and he made everybody, the Void made everybody forget, right? Okay, that works. For one character, that works. I don't think you can have a secret society, and yes, I know it's in the name Secret Society. I get it. I know. Okay, fine. Stop. But I don't think you can have a secret society that runs everything, and then 80 years later just mention it and be like, oh yeah, that. After 80 years of comics with that, I don't think you can do it. It just didn't work for me. Now, it really does work for some people, and I understand that, and I respect that, and that's fine. Mostly like when people came in, I find with Batman, whenever they started reading Batman is their favorite era.
Right.
I know people that started reading it when Grant Morrison started writing it, and they're like, yeah, this is great. Like, but it doesn't have anything to do with the previous Batman stuff. And they're like, yeah, but it was great. I'm like, okay, because that's when you started. New 52, a bunch of people started there, and they're like, yeah, this is awesome. There's all this really, cool interconnected Gotham stuff, and, the Bruce Wayne or the Wayne family is important throughout time and had all these connections with that. And I'm like, no, but that is not how it was. That doesn't work for me. I want a sad, crazy kid whose parents were killed in a robbery. And he went goofy and learned karate and learned how to figure a lot of things out.
Yeah.
That's Batman I like. Detective Batman that does that stuff. It doesn't have to be connected to everything. So I mean, there are a couple of continuity issues in that book as well, though. And I don't. Maybe they address this at the end of the other ones, but I don't know. I don't know why. Like, this is the third team up they've had. This is the third Batman Spawn.
Right.
And in the beginning of this, Batman's like, "Whoa, who are you?" And Spawn's like, "I don't know, who are you?" I mean, okay, I'm paraphrasing, but and I'm like, why don't they remember each other? Like why? There's a couple of those weird sort of things there, and I don't know if it's. I don't know. Maybe it was, maybe it's something like that has been explained in Spawn, or some of the Tom King Batman stuff that I just didn't read. Where it's like, oh, this is a different Batman or a different Spawn, or he's died and came back and his memory. I don't know, something. But it just that bothered me, and I don't know. I know that's nitpicky, but it just kind of seems, if you're going to do a third meeting of these characters, it should be a third meeting, not a first meeting.
Right. I would think. I mean, the second one was kind of like that too.
It kind of was, yeah.
But I think that the reason behind that is they don't want, they want it to feel like it's the first time.
Yeah.
For all the people that have not had a chance to experience that yet, they want them to think it's the first time these two have ever.
Well, but they put out the hardcover of the first two issues 2 weeks before that. Yeah. So, I mean, it can't be, there's your first time. All right, fine, whatever. I don't know. I was getting a little nitpicky with things like that. But I mean, again, if you like that era Batman and you like Spawn, that's the perfect book for you.
Right.
Perfect book.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't think it's for me. I don't think a lot of what the big two are doing right now is for me.
Yeah.
Honestly. But some of it's getting better. I mean, I actually was going to fire Daredevil when they restarted it because it pissed me off that they were going back to number one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's been really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to let go of something that's that great.
Yeah.
Detective's been really good. Batman's starting to come back around. Superman, the son of Kal-El.
Mm-hmm.
That's been pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard that's been good.
And I really like the new Batman stuff. The Future State Batman. What's his name?
Yeah, I
haven't read it in a while.
I've trimmed down significantly on my Batman stuff.
Well, how can you not? There's 183 titles out.
Right? Yeah, and there's 182 covers for all of them. Yeah. I wish they would just calm down with the covers.
I think we're going to get there real soon.
Man.
And with the dip in the market, people aren't buying all these covers. Everybody I'm talking to is like, yeah, I'll get a A cover or B cover because I like the card stock.
Yeah.
But I'm not buying 8 covers or whatever.
Yeah, I would say most people are cutting back on that. I mean, I had a couple of guys that I have holds, and they're they were like, yeah, I want every cover of everything. And I think there's only one person left that gets everything. Yeah. So.
I mean, I still get all of the Firefly and Star Trek stuff because and the only reason I do that is because they are like secondary titles, and I just feel like somebody's got to support them. They don't get the play that the other books do.
Well, and if I didn't have a store, I wouldn't be getting all the covers on the stuff I read.
If you didn't have a store, I wouldn't be getting all the covers I get either. So,
well, all right,
we've got that in common.
Fantastic, thank you.
If I was buying it from somebody else, I would not. I would get the A cover and call it a day.
Well, thank you. He is Santa.
I might grab the RIs once in a while, but that's not the limit of it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we got absolutely not too bad for not having a topic.
Yeah, just kind of blah. Yeah.
Because we haven't had a chance to sit down and talk for a couple of weeks.
I know. Yeah. Welcome back to Word Vomit episode 27. Nice to see you.
So next week, let's see how this goes. This will drop on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So there's coming up Sunday is Christmas.
Have a safe
Tomorrow-
holiday, please, everybody. Don't go
Tomorrow
crazy.
is my birthday. So
Tomorrow when this hits, or tomorrow
tomorrow when
today?
this hits.
Okay,
So
not tomorrow today.
next Tuesday.
Tomorrow, real time tomorrow because
So-
it's Monday.
Next time you see me on
Yeah?
Wednesday morning, I will be a year older. That's crazy.
You won't even look it. You'll only look a week older.
And then we'll record this on hopefully on Thursday next week.
Mhm.
And then the one after that, people will be in shock. So that'll drop the following Monday. And then right after the New Year, the beard's gone.
Really?
Finally. Oh, hell yeah. What?
You look like a potato when you shake your head.
Do it to traumatize
Oh
my
my
children.
God,
my
that's great.
grandkids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My New Year's resolution is I'm going to try and learn how to grow one. I don't think it's going to happen.
It takes years of study.
Yeah.
That's how you learn.
Well, that's why I like Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark so much, because he can't do it either. You got a little gap right here. You can't do this here. So he just has that wannabe goatee thing and like making it cool.
He is a pretty cool.
Between
Tony
him and
Stark.
Jason Statham making this cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate that.
See, I
Bruce
thought it
Willis
was-
tried, but
I thought it was Rob Halford. That's who I model myself. I try to be Rob Halford in everything I do.
oh, that's really
That's
nice.
not true.
We'll talk about that later.
Nobody tell my wife. My wife about that.
Yeah, she doesn't watch this anyway, does she? Nah, probably not.
Probably not.
Anyway, there we are.
All right.
All right.
So let's see. So this will drop Monday. Wednesday, tune in where we come to you from Black Hat Comics. We're going to run down the wall and let you know all the new books that come out. We do have something coming up after the first year. We're going to, or I am going to be sitting down with another one of our local comic shop owners and discuss foreign books, because that's a market that's really kind of blowing up right now.
What?
Foreign books.
Oh, foreign.
Not foreign books, but American books in foreign markets.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like it's crazy. Half of my business right now is South Africa and
Oh, wow.
Australia. South Africa and Australia, and I got Japan.
I guess with the shipping
Japan's
problems
huge.
and the
And
supply
it's not,
chain, that makes sense.
and it's not American comic books translated into Japanese, or
Yeah, it's just American.
it's
comics.
American comics in the Japanese market.
Oh.
So very interesting stuff. So, so look for that after the first year. And of course, this show is going to drop every Monday morning. We'll get back to a regular schedule every Monday morning at 8 p.m. Monday morning at 8 p.m.
Monday morning at 8 p.m. We'll
Monday
be
morning-
right back on our irregular schedule.
Monday morning, 8 a.m. Mountain Time.
There you go.
All right.
So when this
I figured
drops,
that out.
pick it up and subscribe and stuff.
Yeah. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Jingle
Ring the
those
bell.
bells,
Jingle those bells. Oh, that would be so cool if I had a bell there.
wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Oh, yeah, man, you already thinking.
Ring the bell to be notified when everything drops.
There you go.
And we'll see you later, traders.
Bye.